Broadcast live.
Coming to you live.
We're live
From the basement of an abandoned training facility where we talk about fighting, training, and events. It's the Fight Mixer Show on the Three Beards Podcast, where you can hear about all the local and world combat sports happenings. Get ready. It's time to gear up and square up because we're going live.
And now,
Broadcasting live.
We will broadcast live
with Craig, Chris, Austin, and Matt on the Fight Mixer Show.
Welcome to the Fight Mixer Show on the Three Beards Podcast, where apparently it's our remix edition. Somebody's over there. Hey, we would like to at this time welcome our guest, Mr. Lucas Rosa. How are you, sir?
How are you guys? Thank you guys for having me on the show. Appreciate it.
Hey, glad to have you on here, man. I really appreciate you coming on. It was one of those. We had it. We just kept getting this list. Everybody, it's like we say a lot. Debbie Gamble. She's an amazing person, and she was just, and just she kept giving us names, and all of a sudden, this popped up, and she's like, "Well, what about Lucas Rosa?" I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, we want to have everybody on." Anybody. And we never envisioned getting to this point to where we had so many people that we're just like, all right, this is fantastic, and it's just in the fact that you guys are so willing to come on. So, appreciate you being here, sir.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Now, so we'll kind of just get off. You are a man of many hats, or you have got your WordPress site where you've got a couple things going on. One, I'd like to, before we get too much joking around and then have to hit on more of a serious note, let's start off kind of in the beginning. You have the chucky'sfight.com.
Yeah. So so when I was younger, like 8 and 9, I unfortunately had 2 older brothers passed away from accidental drug overdose. And when that happened, it was tough for my family. They were about like 20, so they were kind of my heroes at that time. And when that happened, they decided to spread their ashes in the ocean. And as a kind of way to visit them every day and sort of meditate, my dad would jump in the ocean to kind of be with them. And you have to think like the frigid ocean in New England, he'd do it every single day, no matter what. So even if it was like a blizzard out, no matter what was going on, he would jump in to kind of be with my older brothers in spirit in a way. And from that, it kind of started to become something where people would join him and would raise money to kind of start helping fight substance abuse, donating it to different charities. But then he decided him and my mother, Mary Rosa, decided to make into its own charity, Chucky's Fight, where people can help come and like jump in the ocean with my dad and raise funds to help knock out substance abuse. That's kind of like their catchphrase, I guess. And what he does is he goes around to different schools and talks about addiction. And he does this in New Hampshire, which is one of the places dealing with the opioid crisis the most. He helps people get into treatment centers who normally couldn't be able to do it, helps people with community service, try to get back on their feet. I've had like just so many people who are random strangers to me come up to me and say like, your dad, he's like a second dad to me. He's like saved my life. I've seen so many testimonials that kind of contribute to that and like show just how much of an impact he's had on the community. To me, it's like really startling to just know how much they've done, and it's a good thing to look up to for sure,
Yeah, well, that's quite the story, dude. I mean, condolences that you guys had to go through this. So,
yeah.
But now, is this a certain time during the year that they have like just an annual event, or is this something that they do multiple times throughout the year to raise money?
No, so my dad jumps in every day, but they usually record it on chucky'sfight.com, and they'll like post it there, and so you can come watch. But for anyone who wants to join him for a dip, you can kind of just reach out on their social media, Chucky's Fight, or try to contact them through the website. And and like try to raise funds and get to become the ocean. Really, he's had me going sometimes. Like sometimes in the he doesn't make me come in every time, but sometimes he'll make me come in during like Christmas or something like that, and that's just like an absolute nightmare. I have to jump in. You think you're okay in the beginning, but then once you dive under and get out, like you forget how to breathe because it's so cold. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. I was just gonna say, it's like if nobody's, the two of them, above us, haven't ever been really in that cold environment. It's like when you hit that water, oh my God, it is just, you hit it and you're just like, I don't know if I can breathe right now. I mean, the whole body just kind of goes.
I literally like take a breath and I like forget how to inhale. It's funny, but my dad's a beast. He like you'll always see the ice freeze on his hair on his arms, and he just doesn't care. He doesn't even use a towel. He's just a beast. I don't know what it is about him.
Oh, yeah, anybody with facial hair suddenly starts turning white, with all the crystals. And stuff. Oh, yeah, it's cool. Well, that's all. So anybody that's listening, stuff, we'll put a link on this one too. Have you guys check out, checkingfight.com and go in there. Especially anybody that's traveling up there. I mean, if they get it in this thing, I mean, this definitely is a worthwhile one to get involved with. And so appreciate you, sharing that. Like I said, I don't want to dig up too much, hard,
of course,
memories and stuff. But
I appreciate you guys mentioning it and everything, and it's a good way to memorialize my older brothers and help a real tough problem in America right now. And so.
It's awesome. Now you sent us a few photos. So where was that coconut photo taken with you on the beach, sir?
That was in Thailand. So all the photos I sent you guys were part of something called a Watson Fellowship. It's actually like an academic scholarship that they give out to people after they've already graduated college. And honestly, normally they only give it out to like 40 people across the nation every year. And it's very highly selective. Like thousands of people apply from different liberal arts colleges. And they all basically apply with a project and a personal statement saying exactly like why they think they should get basically a 1-year funded year-long project to travel around the world and pursue their passions. And they did take people who they think are like promising students and let them do that. They fund it basically. It's funded by like IBM, the Watson Foundation. And so my project was looking at mixed martial arts through a philosophical perspective, because I think sometimes people tend to like not really think about it as like a intellectual endeavor the same way that you think about like philosophy or writing or something like that. And to me, it's always been as mental as anything else. Like to me, the athletic side of me and the academic side of me were like the same. They were a contradiction, like some people thought. So mine was kind of looking back at the lineage of striking, or at least one branch of the lineage of striking. And I went to Cambodia to study the ancient martial art of both powers. I can tell you guys a lot more about it if you want. That one's like probably culturally tourist. But then I also went to Thailand, in Muay Thai, in Keowak, and then I also went to the Netherlands to do Dutch kickboxing. I went to the northern part in Friesland, which is kind of its own subset in the Netherlands. So it was a year-long thing. I didn't get to see anybody when I was there besides my brother, who visited me for like a week. But it's a very like intense thing. They want you to really have a lot of self-growth from it. But I trained all these different styles when I was there because, I'd done grappling and takedowns before from wrestling and jiu-jitsu, but I had never done striking really that formally. So it was something I really wanted to pursue.
Nice. Yeah, so like the pictures you got there, I really like that one. I also like that just the way they captured that.
Well, that's nice.
It's pretty. Yeah, air strike. That was pretty cool. So that was awesome. That was an awesome trip. That. Now, did you spend most of the time like just doing, like you said, like training? Was that the majority?
Yeah, so like a part of it was kind of writing about the martial arts, like on that blog. In terms of like studying the mechanics of how the strikes work. Like I try to intellectualize things a little bit more than I think some people, because that's just what works for me. But yeah, most of the time we just spent like training, and it was very different for each place. Yeah.
Did you? I forgot what I was gonna say here. On this trip, did you already have a love for MMA, or just like when you got there, like it grew bigger for you? The love.
No, I mean, MMA was like a real essential part of my life before that, or martial arts were at least. And that's one of the reasons why I said like why I was able to get this scholarship was I think through my personal statement and everything and my project proposal, they saw how serious I was and how serious I was about, connecting those two sort of crafts of like philosophy and martial arts. And I think it was very, very exciting because the first place I went was this place, Cambodia, which I think was like very culturally interesting. Cambodia has this martial art called Bokatao, which like nobody really knows about. It's supposed to be, they claim to be one of the first martial arts ever, which, who really knows, but I was there and actually looking at the, like the temple, ancient temple walls, and I could see Bokatao techniques inscribed in them and stuff. And so it's just some of the coolest things you could think of. Not a lot of people know about Bokatao because they had their martial art like wiped out by the Khmer Rouge, which was like a genocide there in Cambodia like a few decades ago. So all the martial artists had to flee because they were viewed as like intellectuals and stuff. But that one was probably the most culturally interesting.
So do they still
Sorry, I didn't take that.
Yeah.
So do they still teach that form of fighting?
Now they're starting to teach it because this guy, the grandmaster, the person I trained under, who's like the highest basically belt, he's a gold krama, which to them is their highest belt. He came back like a decade ago and has started to reteach this martial art there. I trained under him and his son Reach, who are like some of the highest ranking people there in terms of that martial art. But it's a very interesting style because they claim to come from like such an ancient style that they're based on like animals' movements and things like that.
Nice.
It's a very very ancient style, and they claim to be the originator of Muay Baran and things that became Lethwei and then became Muay Thai. So it's sort of this like fundamental piece of striking, or so they claim to be this fundamental piece of striking that not many people know about, and it's sort of this like martial art that's just starting to get resurrected. And so, like after the Watson Fellowship, I
So
That's cool.
you feel it?
Yeah.
What'd you say, sir?
Chris?
So do you feel if you trained over there for several months or several years, you would have a skill that nobody has in the United States?
Exactly. I mean, that's the thing that was crazy to me. Like they showed me different types of styles of punching. If you go on my Instagram page and scroll down far enough, you'll see there's this one video of him showing me a type of punch that like it was the first thing it did is it hit the pad out of my hand because it was I thought this old, grandmaster guy, I'm like, oh, is he really going to punch that hard? And he has a way of punching and relaxing his muscles and then stiffening them in a way that makes it like a really, really incredible type of movement. He's really particular about the way he uses motion efficiency, and like he trained like spatial awareness, and which would have me meditate and just like think about different styles and moves. Because the thing that's really cool about Bokatao is it's so ancient and kind of derived from the Khmer Empire's like training style. They had a army there, the Khmer army, that they used the Bokatao for their fight techniques. So they actually started adapting it to things that weren't just striking. They would use like different grappling techniques and takedown techniques that like I feel like I now have an advantage of knowing those things over everybody else.
Oh, that's cool. Now, do you envision yourself, especially, obviously you got the time to train, years ahead of you. So have you thought about progressing in this to the level of maybe opening your own here in the U.S. to where you can start spreading?
So like I definitely want to spread it, but my main goal right now is to focus on like myself as a fighter. And I think there's ways you can promote like different martial arts in terms of like opening gyms and spreading the word of it. But I think the best way to show that something works is to show that, it works in like large scale. And so I want to become a fighter. My goal is to one day be in the UFC like my older brother. And, hopefully through that medium, I can sort of relay this message of like, hey, there's this ancient lost martial art nobody knows about. And also kind of relate it to like, there is a mental aspect to MMA that I want people to understand. And I think a lot of fighters know that too, but it's something that I'm very particular about.
That'll hit them when you get them with that punch that they've never seen before.
That's awesome.
That punch.
So who are you currently signed under?
So I'm not signed in to anyone yet. I'm like right now. I might go with Rise, but we'll see what happens. The pandemic. I was really about to get in the move with some things, but the pandemic struck and kind of halted a lot of different things.
You hear that, Armando?
What?
Lucas is looking for a fight. Armando.
Yeah.
Armando. Lex McMahon. Hello. We got a guy here.
Here. Your brother just chimed in and asked, "Can you beat your older brother up?"
Oh yeah, I beat my older brother. We were killing each other. I mean, we were quarantined together, so it's like, you know,
Oh
we had a
God.
few great nights.
In all honesty, yeah,
He was a you was a training bag.
Yeah, a little bit, but I got my shots in.
Yeah, so
You were the whole training bag you put on the pads and let him kick around on.
That's
Well, it's funny. We're like, I'm from a pretty like in a big Italian family, so like I have a little brother. I mean, older twin brother who like I used to wrestle around with all the time when I was little. So like I'm used to kind of that environment. Like to us, it's kind of how we show that we like each other, I guess.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, I tried many times to locate you. Maybe you could help this out. Have you ever tried to look yourself up on Tapology?
Tapology, no.
Yeah, you could pretty much pass yourself off as about 70 to 80 dudes.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
There are so many Lucas Rosas on there. I was looking here. I would go through. I'm like, no, he's not Brazilian. No.
Yeah.
I was trying to get your Instagram. I had to, go back into my Instagram on my computer, look you up on Instagram. Like, there it is right there. I was like, I couldn't find you anywhere on Google. It's crazy.
But, yeah, you look it up. Yeah, if you get a chance to just type in Lucas Rosa, just check it out. You don't realize how many guys are in MMA that are your same name until you do that. I was just like, yeah. I mean,
It's a different kind of last. Like my surname is Italian, but I'm sure for most people it's like, Latin America or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's we were looking around. It's like we found it's like, is this him? I'm like, no, that's not him. I'm going.
No, he's
yeah. I go unless he immigrated and changed everything. I go, that's not him.
Now you went to the Thailand with that scholarship. Did you ever go back and watch Muay Thai competitions or?
Oh yeah, no, I would go to like these live events every week pretty much.
Wow.
It's pretty crazy, They're pretty brutal in some ways. Like the way they train, man, is crazy too. Even like they have even sometimes the kids fighting, which I felt a little like morally conflicted about. They're like literally 6, I'm telling you, they're like 6 years old and they're like going at it. So it's like a little strange. But aside from that, it's cool to see them like, they do it every week pretty much, and they're really talented. The way their whole system, it just seems like it's so based. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that kind. And they do like these traditional ceremonies before where they have like they don't like when you call it this, but it's sort of like they do this kind of dance, and I had to learn that as part of my training and stuff too, like their pre-fight ceremony.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now we talked a little bit prior to the show, but let's get into. You were a lover of cryptids.
So is the dance?
Oh, he's lagging out here.
I love it.
Yeah, no, that's that part. It's like the Cryptopedia, the book you wrote with Francis. Talk a little bit about that, because I'm a lover of cryptids, man. I go, this is a passion of mine.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So when I was like 12, basically, my twin brother. So first I should start off. Me and my twin always really loved like Godzilla. Like we were super into that kind of thing and like monsters and that kind of thing, which is not what a cryptid is, but we kind of just had that interest. And so when I was younger, my twin brother started making a big list of different type of cryptids that he liked. Like things that were like Bigfoot, creatures that may or may not exist, like things that have been cited but we can't confirm is real or not. So we just kind of started making this list. He likes lists. And so eventually, because I was kind of the writer at the time, I started kind of helping him like flesh these out a little more because it just seemed cool. And I was like, hey, maybe we could turn this into a book. And, at the time we were 12, so we were just using like Microsoft PowerPoint and taking images off Google. We didn't know what we were doing, But eventually, by the time we were like we went through all these different processes trying to see if we could get it published or like what needed to be done. And we went through tons and tons of editing. And eventually, by the time we were 16, we got this book, Cryptopedia, created, which is basically just an encyclopedia of cryptids. Like each page is a different cryptid, and it's in an alphabetical order. And a cryptid, again, is a like myth or legend or creature that's been cited, but not
The Oklahoma octopus.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like the book I have, it has like tons of different stuff in it, like all these different ones. You can buy it on Etsy if you want. One of the things I really like about it is, so our biggest section is the cryptid encyclopedia section. That's the first part, but I think it's also cool to like point out there's a proven to be real section. So ones that were like once cryptids and then became like real creatures that we know of today. Because I think a lot of times we hear about the descriptions of these crazy, mysterious creatures, and we think there's no way that's true, but it's maybe that just maybe certain traits about it have been hyperbolized, and that's why it's more silly. Like things like Komodo dragons. I mean, you described that when I first like saw it, you'd think, oh, there's no way something like that on this one particular island. There are dragons everywhere, but then that turned out to be true. So then I really like those kind of things.
So what do we got to? So what do we got to do to get 4 autographed copies of your book? Where do we need to send a check to? We need 4 autographed copies.
You could send it to me, like Lucas Rosa, but or you could just buy it off the Etsy page. And I could write some. Me and my twin brother, we're in different locations right now, so we might have to like send it back and forth. But we'll get that stuff signed for you for sure.
Okay. Because I was just getting ready to ask that same question, because I may or may not have it up right here and getting ready to click buy, and so that's what I was going to tell you. Coming from you, I mean,
it comes straight from my it's in Boston where I used to live. So
I was going to say it's in the room right behind me back here. I got the several boxes and I'll start signing. Awesome. Well, like I said, we're getting ready to bring in Serena as well. Like I said, you're welcome to stick around for this if you want. You want to stick around, or do you have to go?
I'll stick around for a few minutes, but I might have to leave a little bit later. So
okay, perfect. Well, like I said, everybody check him out. Remember, chuckysfight.com. Go there, support this amazing charity. That's great. Go to Etsy, Cryptopedia. He may or may not be able to sign an autograph every single copy, but it's one of those. Definitely, if you're into crazy conspiracy and the cryptids like I am, I go, this book looks like pretty cool. That'd be one of those to look through.
Images are amazing. So
definitely. So here we'll bring Serena in right now.
Hey,
and welcome to the program, Serena. How are you?
I'm good. I'm enjoying what's left of my Sunday before, I just start the whole week over again and keep training. Other than that, nothing else. I'm a pretty boring person in that regard, at least. All I do is just train.
Well, we got Lucas Rosa. Meet, if I can get the pen right, Serena. DeJesus, how are you?
Serena. Keep saying it wrong.
Serena. Serena's the singer.
I know. I apologize.
It's awesome.
I've got to have a mistake every now and then. I apologize. If we can meet, you can.
What's the over under that he'll butcher my last name?
DeJesus.
Oh my God, he actually got that right. Oh my God. Yeah, you did it.
I redeemed myself.
There you go. That's awesome.
Yes. Serena. Welcome to the show. So
yeah.
Let's try to compose myself. All right.
Too many drinks, Greg. I know it's a holiday tomorrow, but calm down.
I know. All right. So when is the next fight coming up for you? Now that we're getting everything up and running.
The next fight really depends on Invicta, because that's where I fight. That's the normal promotion I'm with. I'm hearing rumors that there is a show in July, but like I said, it's just a rumor, so I can't pay too much seriousness to it, but I am starting to diet more and stuff like that. But I've been in relatively good shape. I've been training with my strength and conditioning coach, Lorenzo Pavlica. I've been working with my Muay Thai coach, Marvin Eastman. So for any of you MMA OGs who've been back in the day. You guys might recognize that name. Other than that, I've just been doing everything else I can do to stay in shape, running out in this hot Vegas sun. It's about to be, over 100 degrees on Tuesday or Wednesday. Things like that. But that's a normal day to me.
Yeah, we were 93, 94 today. So yeah. So we're pretty close. Yeah, we're all based in Florida.
Yeah.
So except for Lucas, I'm not sure.
You guys got the.
All the air conditioners are going.
They're breaking right now.
Yep. Yeah, that's a common occurrence.
Yeah, y'all got the meth gators and shit. I just have the oven heat that just makes us burned into a crisp.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
So you got a card?
No, go ahead. Awesome.
We watched a lot of your fights. Obviously, your nickname Southpaw. Do you rely more on Southpaw or more wrestling?
I do basically whatever's handed me. I like to strike, but I have grappled and I've shown in my past. In fact, my only finish in my MMA career is actually a rear naked choke. Nice. So I can grapple, and my best friend and I grapple a lot. Roxanne Modaberry, who's been my bestie since I moved out here to Las Vegas. I get a lot of grappling help from her as well. And I just saw someone ask, did lockdown affect my training? It has, to the case where I haven't trained with other people, some of my teammates per se, but I've been doing my one-on-ones with my coaches, and so far that's been doing me wonders. I've been picking up new details, fixing little things with the arsenal. So if when I fight again, I can show another improvement and take everybody else by surprise again, which is the main idea.
Yeah.
Again.
Nice.
She said again.
Yeah. And before I forget, Jessica Borga wanted me to tell you hello.
Yeah.
So
I love her. She's so great. Hi, Jessica.
Yes, she's a friend of the program. We've had her on a couple times. We had her on as a guest, and then also a couple times as a guest host. And so when I messaged her, I was trying to get her on as a guest host, and she just told me she couldn't make it, but she wanted me to make sure she told you the best, that she's sorry she couldn't be here, but, she loves you and all that. So that was pretty
cool.
All right. Yeah. So
the rumor of.
Go ahead, Chris.
So the rumor.
I don't understand what's
going on.
So the
rumor of your July fight, is it going to be in Vegas?
We have no idea. I mean, it would make the most sense for it to be in Vegas because I know that Invicta has been angling to use the Apex for a while now, and that's about a 10-minute drive at the most from my house. I can just get in my car and be like, here's me on the way to go fuck someone's day up, driving on the way to the venue. And it would give me a lot less anxiety because, even when I was getting ready for my last fight before the coronavirus was a huge deal here in the United States, I'm going to the airport with a mask on and everything. I'm just looking around, and then I've traveled for so many years, and that time getting ready for that fight to fly out to Kansas City was the first time I've ever seen and heard a security breach happen. Somebody apparently busted through the lines. The alarms were. I was going from 0 to Usain Bolt almost, looking for the exit until they got all that handled. I'm here I am holding my weight cut, my gourmet weight cut dish of hard-boiled eggs because there's nothing else non-sodium I can get through the airport. I'm about ready to start busting my ass running through this damn airport, but thankfully didn't get to that.
That'd be help with the weight cut, I guess. Just a nice little wind sprint.
Oh, I bet it would.
Oh my God!
So you got some practice. You to just jab.
Nah, I want to probably just kick teep the person out the door, get the fuck out. So.
How is go first.
Yeah, I was going to say. Somebody asked a question. It's have you evolved your Thai boxing, for MMA because you love kicking?
Well, I think that was pretty evidenced in my last fight. The first fight I had in the Phoenix Rising tournament, because it was a one-night tournament, I was fighting multiple girls. The first fight was actually against someone with the most experience in the field, in Carrie Kennison, who she's got heavy hands and everything. And then I was able to kick her because that's kind of my thing. I love to throw kicks, but my success was really found in the clinch game, where I was able to clinch and kind of use my head control, but I could also throw basically all the elbows I wanted from whatever angle I wanted, because the recent Muay Thai switch up for me having Muay Thai under Marvin Eastman has been really beneficial. I mean, I thought I was a Muay Thai kind of person, but just working with him, everything's like, I'm like, wait, there's 14 distinct elbows in Muay Thai. Wait, what? I didn't know these things. So I'm learning all these new things. But the clinch has also helped transition to my grappling game, because if I catch someone's kick, they're going down. But my kicks are still hard to deal with. I mean, look at Gordado's face. I even kicked her right in her mouth. Anybody can land a punch on anybody, but it's a true work of art to have somebody to have the taste of your foot in their mouth.
There you go.
That is true. I mean, as I said, it's not very often that you see somebody catching a foot just right across the face. That's it. That's cool.
It was dead in her mouth. Like, I just was like, no, you're not coming in like that. Bow! Right in her mouth.
I actually have a question.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a selfish question, but what advice would you have for a fighter who's just starting out? Like,
a fighter just starting out, I would obviously advise them to have a good diet in mind. Monitor the walking weight of their competition. So, for example, I know where pretty much where a lot of bantamweights walk at, and since my walking weight matches them, this is why I fight at bantamweight. I'm not going to go kill myself fighting at flyweight at 125, or will I go be an idiot and be the lighter fighter at featherweight either? So that's a big thing for fighters starting out to look at. Find a good, solid team and have coaches that can help fine-tune little details. Like, I went through training having a lot of good work with my head coach, John Wood, but there's a part where I guess in a sense, you put the car together, but you need other coaches to help fine-tune the vehicle, or else the vehicle is not always going to win every race, right? So I have a grappling coach. I have a Muay Thai coach. I have my head MMA coach with John Wood. So I advise people start to have these little details kind of squared away, so it's a little easier to deal with. And there's faster growth that way, in my opinion.
I appreciate that. That's very helpful.
Now, we have one of the guys that's on here a lot, Joe Wakito. He always stresses, make sure you get a manager. They're going to keep you from taking all the fights, because you'll always say yes. It's their job to make sure you say no occasionally. So, Serena, have you found that in your case? It's
a good idea to have a manager or somebody in that kind of. My head coach, John Wood, kind of acts as a manager as well for me. So he kind of helps say, hey, here's a fight, but he kind of makes sure they're not some BS fights, that, I'm fighting for pennies or whatnot. So I'm in agreement that you need somebody of some type of a manager, be it your coach or an actual manager. But I would also be very careful on who you choose as a manager and do your homework, because I've seen some pretty scummy managers.
We heard.
Yeah, I can imagine the ones. Yes. No. We talked about this a lot, like on the weight classes. Are you? I've had kind of a mixed bag. It seems like on some of the ones where we've had some that they don't care about weight cutting, and then there's other ones where just like, I don't like it. I prefer to just find my comfortable weight and then just fight there. I don't like to cut a whole lot, and I don't like to have to bulk up.
I'm kind of in the middle. Like, I know why there's weight classes. I just like people to cut weight safely. There's some people who cut too low because they honestly have nothing to bring to their normal weight class. They try and cut to a weight class below, try and clown on fighters that'll be smaller than them. But at the same time, I know that if you don't give a damn too much about your weight and just say, I'll just fight in whatever weight class, it doesn't always end with the best results. So it's kind of like something you need to err on the side of caution, because if you are going to cut weight, you got to do it responsibly.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what it's kind of been that's been some of the response on a lot of that time too. Is just as long as you do it responsibly, because you see some of these people. I mean, we're talking 20 pounds that they're
Yeah.
dropping. Like that can't be good, for your body going into a bout. Dropping that kind of weight and then just getting, taking shots.
Yep. And we're talking about people who are losing that much weight over a short period of time. Like it's one thing if you're losing like that amount of weight in like maybe 6 weeks, that's somewhat okay. But if we're talking about people who have cut that much in like maybe half that, like in 3 weeks or less, I think that's absolutely disgusting.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that can't be good. I can only imagine, because you see some of those people that take their shots, what that's doing to your internal organs, kidneys and stuff, losing that kind of weight that quick.
Yeah, and your brain, because what's the main component of what your brain is floating in? Water. So that actually puts it at a lot of risk for brain trauma too. So fun little fact. Now, oh my goodness, I gotta actually see what this guy's saying. Hardest part of getting prepared for a fight. Dieting and not being able to have any ice cream, not have any beer or smoke any weed. That's the hardest part, but it's a discipline thing. I cut it all out cold turkey and I do it. So that's the hardest part. But I get it done.
You said you can't smoke any weed.
I heard conflicting stories on the amount of weed if you take a championship bout. What is the number? I heard some people say 100 mils. Or what is if you take a championship? I
have no idea, honestly. For me, I cut it all out cold turkey as kind of a discipline thing to remind myself it's a luxury. I don't need it per se. I mean, it does help with some stuff, but I don't necessarily need it, and I've lived without it for a long time. So it's kind of one of those things. It's just a routine thing. Okay, fight camp's here. Okay, put all the pleasurable things out my life, and then just be super miserable so I can take it on someone's face later.
Okay.
So is that why that one girl caught the foot in the mouth as you were having an ice cream craving at that time, and you're mad?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And she kept throwing some ugly punches coming forward. I'm like, bitch, foot in the mouth.
Please tell me after the fight.
All was going through my mind.
So you said, let me go ahead and handle this so I can get some ice cream.
What happened?
You said, let me go ahead and finish this so I can go ahead and get some ice cream.
Yeah, basically.
And a beer.
Like, as soon as that fight was over, I went right back up and I went to the bar after my gloves came off and I got a drink. So
that's great.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm a simple woman. I love fighting, I love food, and I love drinks and weed. I mean, what else could anybody ask for?
I think we all love food. Yeah.
That's the kind of the benefit. I'm trying to start amateur fighting. Obviously, I'll be heavyweight, so I don't have to worry about my weight too much. But still gotta watch the ice cream, obviously, during fight days. But it's all right.
Yeah, it'll be all right. I have faith in you.
One of the questions was, what's your 5-year plan? Sorry, Lucas.
5-year plan. Hopefully I will be in the UFC, and I hope I'll be doing well in the UFC. It'd be so nice, I keep having this fun little thought that me and my friend Roxanne Modafferi fight on the same card together, because we did it once when I was still an amateur, because we were on a pro-am card in Montana, and she was the fight literally after. It was so fucking cool. But who knows? Maybe in 5 years she'll still be whooping that ass, and I'll be like on the same card as her.
That'd be awesome.
And what kind of beer is on my top 4? God, there's a lot of beers. I like the Voodoo Rangers a lot. Voodoo Rangers are good. Sierra Nevada is good. I like Big Wave. Those are my favorites right now. And I can't leave out Steelies. I love my Steeler reserves. I don't care how rich, how poor I'll be. I'll always love a Steely.
That's so fun.
2 of those, and you're right for the night.
Lucas, did you have a question?
No, I was just gonna say, like, that's honestly the hardest. That's one of the hardest parts is like watching my brother go through weight cuts during his UFC fights. Like, that's a tough one. Yeah, I think he had to fight. Cut like 35 pounds in 3 days for his fight with Seaver on short notice.
3 days?
Yeah, it was the craziest thing.
Oh God!
How does that happen? How do you do that?
Like, oh my god.
It was for a UFC because it was his first. He first got called up to the UFC, so like they called him on short notice against Seaver in Switzerland, and so he had to cut like 33 pounds in another country.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so that was like.
Oh, that's horrific.
Luckily,
That's scary.
Like a little bit about nutrition, but like it's still scary, Yeah. I used to have to wait for wrestling and stuff every like 2 days, and I can't imagine that kind of amount. So.
You're in another country. What do you do? Just start drinking out of the tap so you can just really just start shedding water.
Yeah, he brought some doctors.
Mm-hmm. Oh God. You just said the W word with water cutting. Stop. That scares me. I hate that part.
I know. That's
all right.
No,
Should UFC create a tough rule? I don't think the UFC is going to create a tougher rule for weight cutting. I mean, unless they're following in one's footsteps, I don't think they're going to do it. I mean, honestly, this is me on my big brain, controversial energy here. I think they should honestly bring the IVs back, but it has to be administered by a UFC doctor, and it has to be administered and watched by them while the process happens. That way, we won't have people looking like a dried out SpongeBob SquarePants on the scale or on fight night. Go like, I'm ready, and it's like, no, you're not.
Well, and that's you brought that up, and that's kind of one of the questions I've always had. It's like, what is the point of cutting all that weight if you get on the weight scale, you do that thing, you look all dried out, and then when you're at fight, you look like you've rehydrated and you put weight back on. So why?
It's because everybody in your weight division has a natural walking weight, and we have the weigh-in weight. So, for example, I'm sitting at about 158 right now. I mean, some of the girls are a little heavier or a little lighter than me right now. And what happens is once we get off the scale, we go into fight night, we're about the same weight, right? So let's do a case study. Let's say I fought a featherweight. A featherweight is normally walking about maybe 170s. So when we rehydrate and get back to our natural weight after getting off the scale, I'm going to be outweighed. I'm going to be outweighed by like 10 to 15 pounds. And size matters, hence the reason we got the weight class.
Yeah.
So that's why everybody does this whole process of finding their weight class and figuring out where the walking weight is, because those things are important.
I mean, I would think, I'm not a fighter, obviously, but I would think that it's a give or take advantage. If you weigh in a little bit heavier, yes, you have a little bit heavier punch for that fight. But if you weigh in a little bit lighter, that means you can outmaneuver her. Am I correct? I mean, if it goes to the ground, you're
not always guaranteed.
Okay.
It's not always guaranteed.
So would it be better to put more emphasis on walking weight, so that that's what you fight, so that way we quit?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would like it where everybody would. I honestly think it just boils down to the individuals being disciplined about it. Like, it's one thing if they popped up on short notice, and I would rather people negotiate a catch weight for a short notice fight than have them kill themselves. Like the one, like y'all said, with the one man cutting about 30 pounds in 3 days or something. That's outrageous. That should have been, in my opinion, negotiated to a catch weight of some sort and save everybody trouble. So that's my honest opinion. Like, I think the fighters need to be more disciplined. Like, they need better nutrition help. They need, more, examinations and stuff. Like, coaches need to be on their fighters a bit more about their weight. I mean, some, I don't see all of them are. I know mine is, at least, but I don't have to be worried about because I've never missed weight, unlike some people. But
Yeah, I mean, I just picture. I mean, that would just be like UFC calling you up right now, and we need you to fight at 126.
Cool.
Oh hell, nope. That's not happening at 26. I would not make it.
That's why I said I'm doing that number in my head. I'm like, that is an insane amount of weight to drop. I mean, I don't know if you.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
That.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how much homework you've done on me, but if you see me and my friend Roxy stand side by side, you can immediately see the difference between a 135er and a 125er. You can just immediately just see the difference. I'm just more bulky. It's just, there's no way in hell I could ever be anything like that. I mean, if I weigh 126 and a gust of wind blows, my ass is going to be caught in a tree and someone has to get me out.
That's awesome. Do you have anybody you want to call out, or do you have any dream fights coming up, or who would you really like to fight?
I'd love to kick Guardado back in the mouth again. I mean, we do live here together in Vegas because we were in that tournament, and she apparently had a split decision win over me, even though her ear was 8 months pregnant, and I was virtually unharmed. There was not a single bruise on my body. So awesome. I would love to have that fight again, because if she looked out of breath and out of it after one round, she would not survive 3, and that's on God.
So tell her bring it.
And if she has any opinion, she can fight me. Yeah. If she thinks that I'm tripping or she wants to prove me wrong, she knows where I am.
What's her name again?
We'll find her and see if she'll come to Vegas. We won't see it. We'll tell her.
Taylor Guardado.
Gotcha. Okay, we'll go look her up and maybe you can have her. Maybe
she's a cool girl. She's cool. She's cool as shit. But I'm gonna be very real and say what everybody else said, including the girl who won the entire tournament that night.
And the glasses came off. Okay, so yeah, we'll see.
The glasses go on and off.
We'll see if we can locate her and tell her, hey, we want to interview you.
I know where she is in Vegas.
Okay.
I mean, she's cool. She's cool. She's a nice person, but I'm just gonna be 100% she didn't win that fight. So two judges were playing Fruit Ninja on their phone.
But you know what? I believe so.
I love it. Sorry, we talk about that a lot. Like the judgment ruin a lot.
I'm a shenanigator.
I love it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
It's what is Joe? Well, his line is just do what you get. If you leave it up to the judges, you get what you get. It's just it's like you gotta take.
Oh, I find that's such a BS take. Like if you leave it to the judges, like. Because look at all the judging that's been happening lately. Like, let's look at the judging that happened. It was either one UFC fight or 2 UFC fights ago where these judges were tripping so bad. Even multiple UFC fighters like, that wasn't right. That wasn't right. It's like if the fight does ultimately go in the hands of the judges, I want the judges to be competent and capable. Otherwise, what's the point of judges? I'd rather have a fight that goes on until someone drops to the floor or taps out than have judges potentially ruin something that are not competent.
There was that fight. I forgot the guy's name.
That sounds like a new league out there. We already got bare knuckle. Maybe you can start a new league. Beat down. You literally knocked out before you stopped the fight.
That's not good. Well, one of the fights of the UFC, you saw. I forgot his name. He's like, "Wait, I won? What?" And even he was surprised. It's like,
yeah, exactly. And that's what Guardado looked like too. She's like, I won. And I'm like,
jeez.
Somehow, by the grace of God, you did.
It's bad when you watch UFC fight and the fighter just literally knows in his head or her head that she got beat up, and the judge raised their hand and they're like, the ref raised their hand and they're like, oh, I won. How the fuck did I do that? But okay, I'll take it.
Yeah, it's exactly what that looked like. And I'm just like, okay.
Oh. I mean, as a fighter,
yeah,
I know a win is a win. I mean, I know you all split the bag or whatever. You get your own bag. He's got his own purse or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, if you really didn't win that fight, I mean, I know it's all about numbers. You should literally would be like, man, I don't accept this because I didn't win this fight. Clearly, I mean, I don't know what you all judge, but I know in my side, she rocked me a couple times. I didn't win it. I mean, no fighter would have the nerve to do that, but I would like to see that.
I wish they would.
Hey, what? You say I won? Well, thank you. All due respect.
Yeah, I wish to.
That would be awesome. I mean, all due respect. You say I won, but she rocked me a couple times, and I didn't win this fight, so I don't know what you were looking at. But you'll probably be banned from every card. You'll never fight again, and you'll never fight again if you do something like that.
Yeah, well.
I don't know.
All right, well, Lex McMahon, we got a couple of really nice fighters. Get him moving up to the Titan. His, so just had him on. Yes, I keep telling him.
What's my inspiration before a fight? Inspiration before a fight. I watch a lot of anime. I watch a lot of fighting anime before I go out. I play a lot of fighting video games. Like I was dead ass playing Super Smash Brothers before I got in the van to go to the venue. Like I'm not even playing.
That's awesome.
So, okay, single tournament style format. I like fighting, so either or doesn't matter to me. I just like hitting people in the face. I mean, I like the single fighter. I like the single fighter format because those go on your record a bit more. But the tournament bouts, the first two didn't count because they're exhibition because they're 1 round only. But if you made it to the finals, it would have been a normal 3-round fight. So then it would have counted to your record. Now, I'm kind of mad I got robbed of that chance to be in the finals, but I know I'm going to get back in it.
So how about you, Lucas? What do you prefer? 1 round, like just the 1 bout, or do you prefer the tournament?
I prefer both. I was saying someone else. My bad.
I like either. Honestly, I just like the competition of it. And I know someone was asking too what the inspiration before thing is. I have kind of a different mentality. I think I share a similar mentality with my older brother. Like before a fight, I have to get in a mentality where I'm ready to really hurt someone. So I kind of think about the worst stuff that's happened to me in my life, and I just because normally I try to be a nice person, but when it comes to a fight's a fight, and I go out there use all the emotion, all the bad things that ever happened in my life, and just go out there ready to do some damage. But
there you go.
So, do you train over here in Florida very often? I mean, is it mostly on the West Coast?
I live here in Vegas, so I train out of here.
Because I was trying to figure out where you and Jessica, met.
Jessica comes to Syndicate. She comes and visits out here and stuff like that. Before all this coronavirus nonsense happened, she was actually planning on coming out here again to train with us, and then we could do a camping trip. So I'm like, ooh, cool.
Nice.
But go figure. We have a literal fucking plague, just ruining everything.
Yeah,
well, we're trying.
It is what it is.
Yeah,
we're opening back up. So
yeah, we're trying to prove that it's possible to open back up. We'll see.
I hope it works. I hope it works successfully and safely.
Yes.
Real quick, going back to Lucas, I said, what's hard to do for training? Running, eating well, or jumping in that freezing water you're talking about?
For me, honestly, training is the fun part. I love that. It's my favorite thing in the world. It's helps get a lot of mental stress out too. And, it's tough because it's sort of an intellectual pursuit as much as a physical one. But the training for me is easy. The dieting is eating for me is a hobby. So, it's I'm from an Italian family. So that's the tough part,
Awesome.
The dieting.
Oh man! Oh, I know exactly what you're going about. Oh man! Yeah, soup and salad is just an appetizer. It's not a whole meal. But then, wait. Oh man, I know exactly what you're going at.
And I'm literally never full. People ask me you're full, and I'm I have to choose to be full. I could just keep eating all day, So that's the kind of thing, you just have to be disciplined about that. And then jumping in the ocean, I don't know. That's my dad makes me do that stuff. It's crazy as heck.
Oh God,
the New England Ocean, dude, it's freezing.
I hate ice baths. I hate ice baths with a passion. Roxy will jump in the ice bath in the UFC Performance Institute for 6 minutes, and then she's like, "Come join me," and I jump in. I'm just oh God! I'm hearing the Titanic being playing in my head as I fucking go down in the water.
It's all over, yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, those ice baths suck.
No.
They suck. Yeah, no. Oh, that's awesome.
They're horrible.
I appreciate you both coming on. As we're getting the time here, it's just want to let you guys get back to what you're doing. But, definitely, every now and then we need a guest host and stuff too. And if you guys are up to it, we'd love to have you guys on occasionally if you find the time.
Okay, shoot.
Yeah, because it's just
Get you on Facebook.
one of the things we've done this thing for is just, we want to get to know people and their story, get their names out there. It's for us, we love the fact that, fighters like yourselves are willing to come on our show and just talk with us. I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, we can't thank you enough for taking time out of your busy schedules to do this for us. So we appreciate it very much.
Yes.
And please share us on your timeline.
Happy to join you.
Yeah, she did. I mean,
Do you have anybody you want to promote, any fight gear, any trainers up that way, your gym? Do you have anybody you want to
yeah.
get?
Yeah, so I'd like to promote my sponsors, Total Nutrition, Jerky Pro, Fit Boxer. I have a lot of sponsors whose name is spacing out right now, and I feel horrible, but I love all my friends and my family who've been supporting me and my team. Shout out to my coaches, Mike Pyle, Marvin Eastman, John Wood, and all my teammates at Syndicate. Also, my strength and conditioning coach Lorenzo. They help keep this dream alive along with everybody else supporting me. And also, shout out to Unknown MMA who makes my shirt. So if anybody wants a fight shirt of mine with me having Godzilla and me kicking somebody in the ribs, what kind of better design is that?
Great.
All right. Well, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Lucas worked out with me when you're like, oh, Godzilla.
Yeah.
I'm a Godzilla fanatic. I've been watching Godzilla on the VHS tape since I was 5.
No way.
Yeah, that's my shit.
They used to
people because I love Godzilla so much, people call me Reenzilla all the time.
Nice.
They used to call me and my twin the Godzilla twins when we were little because we'd be chasing around with all the Godzilla action figures and King Ghidorah and Mothra. Oh my god. Sick.
Well, Craig, I think we got 2 potential co-hosts for the Godzilla episode coming up.
I'm telling you.
Yes!
If
There's a Godzilla episode? Oh,
we're gonna get one started now.
If nobody's watched those 60s, 70s Godzilla movies where you got the guy in the suit going around tearing down the paper mache buildings.
Yes! Nakajima was the dude.
Yep.
Nakajima was the dude for that. And Destroy All Monsters was fun.
And it was always the still photo. You had the 3 or 4 people with a tank or something behind them, like, oh, Godzilla! And then they immediately go into and rip it down another. Oh, they were the best. They were the best.
That's great.
They were.
So, well, thank you again, you two. Really appreciate you coming in. Have a great evening. One down West Coast and East Coast. So like I said, enjoy the rest of your evening over there, and then we're about time for bed. Yeah, so thanks again, you two. Appreciate it. We'll get with you later on, and like I said, hopefully get you too. Yeah. Thanks.
All right.
And this episode has been brought to you by Broad's Beard Care. Go to broadsbeardcare.com. Use promo code 3beards and use capital B on that. Make sure you do that and you get 20% off. We've working on a signature blend, and I've got one of those on right now, and I actually really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, I love it.
Yep. So we got a little bit. It has a citrus vanilla smell to it, so it's really, 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 really good.
Rest in peace, Island Breeze. Rest in peace.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of getting closer to that. So I was trying. We'll get Kelly to come on here and talk about that as well, too. And so it's one of those. I said, working out in the yard today, I said after that, use the beard soap on that. Got all that dirt and sand out of the beard. Then just put the beard oil in. It's fantastic things. And if everybody, it helps him out, helps us out, the same thing too. So just please go patronize him. Nanny Cakes. 407-923-2898. Nanny Cakes 407 on Facebook, and mention us as well. 3 beers, and you're going to get 15% off, especially Central Florida area. Real easy to do. Outside of that, it's going to be a little bit more difficult, a little more travel time involved in getting that cake. But
I want to thank our fans tonight too, Kevin, Iman, Debbie. Always thank you so much for commenting and liking. So
yes, please, guys, share that out. Get this out. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Serena, again, apologize for calling you, a singer.
I'm going to catch you.
Yep. I know. I think I said it twice, too. So, yeah, Serena.
Good.
DeJesus, so appreciate that. Lucas Rosa, thanks again for coming on, sir. Looking forward to getting that book. So I'm definitely going to get that ordered because I love me some cryptids. So we'll then go to fightmixer.com. Check that out. We got some new merchandise. We've been posting up, talking about shirts. And we'll have some more hopefully soon here on 3 Beards Podcast as well. But check those out. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Go there, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and you can rewatch this over and over and over and over again till you fall asleep. Very nice.
All right. So coming up next, we have, I'm off on my date right now. We have Raymond Tavares, I'm going to get that wrong, and Brandon Lopez.
Awesome. coming up on Wednesday's show. So that's starting at 8:30 as well.
Yep, 8:30.
Yep. All right. Well, everybody, have a great night. Thanks again. Yep. Thanks again. Have a safe Memorial Day. Make sure you keep in mind all those that gave the ultimate sacrifice for that. So thanks to all the families that were that are going through a tough time right now without their loved ones. It's like we appreciate the sacrifice that you and your loved ones made. So thanks again, and we will see you guys Wednesday. Have a great evening.
Good night.
Good night.